Hey guys, before this video begins, be sure to follow me on Instagram at UnrealEntBiz, Twitter at UnrealEntGaming, and join my Discord to where those links will be located down below for more awesome Dragon Ball content outside of the videos having to be provided. And with that being said, I hope you guys sit back and enjoy. The power of Ultra Instinct is finally back in Dragon Ball Super, and with Goku now being able to tap into Ultra Instinct at will, does this indefinitely prove that Goku is without a shadow of a doubt going to dominate Moro in his upcoming battle on Earth, or is Moro somehow hiding an ace up his sleeve in his upcoming battle with Goku, as the first ever battle involving Ultra Instinct Goku versus Moro is going to take place during Dragon Ball Super Manga chapter number 59, which will be released on April 20th, so if you guys want to keep up to date with what happens in the Dragon Ball Super manga, then I do encourage you guys to smash that subscribe button, as well as giving this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if you guys are simply stoked, ready, and excited to see this battle go down. And the community seems to be very torn at the idea of Goku finally being able to cognitively tap into Ultra Instinct at will. However, let's not forget, just because Goku is able to tap into this power doesn't guarantee Goku the victory over Moro, because a similar occurrence had went down during the Tournament of Power with Goku versus Jiren, and we all know exactly what went down during that first initial encounter, and that was Jiren being able to best Ultra Instinct Omen, until of course Goku was able to perfect this power later on down the line in trumping Jiren before he burned out. So I will be the first one to say I do believe that Ultra Instinct Omen Goku versus Moro is either going to result in somewhat of a stalemate or result in a situation to where Moro gains the upper hand against Goku. I don't see Goku actually being able to use this power to fully destroy Moro, unless of course he is able to perfect the power itself and thus trumping Moro in every conceivable way. However, joining me here today to discuss the overall pragmatics, the pros and the cons behind Ultra Instinct Omen Goku versus Moro is my good friend and Dragon Ball YouTuber Emosh. Now Emosh, we had a very long discussion off camera about this, and I know that you're very adamant about Goku and the way he basically went about fighting Saganbo. So what I want to know from you is, there are a lot of people in the fandom that think that this was an ass pull of Goku being able to re-tap into this power and use this technique at will. So do you think that perhaps maybe it was a little too soon for Goku to use Ultra Instinct right off the bat, or do you think that it's actually necessary for him to use it now, being the fact that it's been quite some time since we actually saw Goku use Ultra Instinct? So in this particular instance, do you see it to where Ultra Instinct Omen Goku is going to gain leverage over Moro, or do you feel like they basically gave away the battle in letting us know, hey, Goku's going to have a really intense battle with Moro, but it's not going to be Goku that gains the victory, but instead there's going to be some situation presented that allows Vegeta to step in and help Goku throughout the course of this battle?
Okay, so it's really weird. You know, back when we had that panel with Goku training with MERUS, and they only show like his leg, and he's like squaring off against MERUS. I mean, the fandom kind of blew up, and we were like, oh my god, like he's an Ultra Instinct Omen. That's the same aura, you know. And everybody was kind of excited. We were surprised, and from that moment on, the whole point of him training with MERUS was to kind of grasp this idea of being able to at least maintain, you know, UI Omen or UI Sign, whatever you want to call it, right? So, you know, the idea of people kind of like not agreeing with him being able to do it at will now is absurd. And I understand, like, you know, it's, I don't know if it's a problem, if it's a pro or a con to the fandom or to communities that people are a part of. You know, it's okay to have opinions, but it's kind of contradictory to support one idea back when, you know, he was training against MERUS. That was the whole point. And then now that he can do it, it's just like, oh my god, he can do it at will. Why? This is too soon, or I don't know what's going on. I don't see an issue with it. That was the whole point. That was the whole point of him going off with MERUS, you know, from the get-go. I think we established that chapters ago, right? As far as, I mean, the only thing I don't agree with is him just busting it out right from the beginning, and as soon as he meets Moro. But it's not that he did it of his own free, you know, volition, like of his own free will. He comes in, you know, he swoops in, he's like, you know, smacking Saganbo around, and then we can't see him. Piccolo can't sense his chi, nobody can see him. Jocko can see him, Moro could see him, and then we find out that later on, towards the end of the chapter, Moro's just like, oh, show me that thing you did before. And even me, when I was reading the chapter, I was like, what the hell is he talking about? What did he do before? And then he goes UI Omen, and then we find out that, wow, when he was smacking Saganbo around, when he had less power, right? When he had less energy being thrown into him, he didn't just like one-shot Saganbo right then and there, and then he goes out and he fights him in base and turns blue, and he just no-diss him in blue and stuff like that. I think that was just unnecessarily drawn out and forced. I think, showing that not only did Goku not go into UI of his own choice, he was kind of forced to do it by Moro. I think that automatically just gives Moro the upper hand at that point, right? He already acknowledged it as not a mortal ability, and then Goku kind of confirms that it's both a technique and a form of anything, the initial stage of the technique of the gods, right? Ultra Instinct Sign. So no, I don't disagree with him being able to do it at will. That's the whole point. It's the whole point of, like, any piece of information that we've gotten about Goku and Vegeta at this point, anything that's after post-TOP, yeah, that's the whole point of him being able to grasp this idea of, being able to use Ultra Instinct or some form of it, willingly. Now, as for how long he can do it, we don't know yet. We'll see soon enough. But for the most part, no, I think it's totally fine. I think people who are upset with it or disagree with it are just blowing it way out of proportion, and it just kind of shows that people don't really know what they want up until they see it. So yeah.
So I agree, but I also disagree to an extent, because I would have rather have prolonged this for at least one more arc, because they didn't really touch up on Ultra Instinct at all during the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, and it was heavily focused on in this arc, particularly when Goku ran across MERUS, and they of course trained in the time chamber for 2 months. And one could argue and say that MERUS actually did more for Goku than WHIS did, because he was actually able to spend 2 solid months inside the hyperbolic time chamber and beat Goku around to the point where he was able to fully teach him and educate him on the powers of remaining calm, allowing your body to move freely at will, basically giving Goku instructions on how to tap into this power which Goku was shown doing inside the hyperbolic time chamber. But is this somehow going to backfire on Goku in this being a short fight? So I guess my next question is, how far do you see this going? Do you see this actually being a 1-chapter fight before Vegeta gets there, or do you see it to where it's going to be Goku versus Moro for about 2 chapters before Vegeta ends up arriving and saves Goku from Moro's wrath?
All right, so when we talk about things being long or short, drawn out, or just, happening quickly, we get a chapter every month. So of course, in the grand scheme of things, when you look at it, if this fight is 2 chapters long, wow, that's 2 months. That was a long time. Well, no, not really, right? So what I mean by short is the idea that, once again, like I just mentioned before, that Goku finishes the chapter going into UI sign, but he doesn't do it, of his own free will. Moro kind of forces his hand, and I kind of felt that I felt like that was completely unnecessary, at least as to why or how it happened, right? Where Goku for some reason feels like Saganbo was a friend of Moro's. And it's difficult for me to understand where in Goku's mind, or where in his head, that he thought that Moro had some kind of leniency or friendship or kinship with anyone he's associated with, considering Goku's seen all the things that Moro has done and is potentially capable of. And he actually starts off the chapter by saying, well, I still don't know too much about this guy. He's probably hiding his true power. And for Moro to kind of, control Goku in that sense, where it's like, okay, I'll stop, turning Saganbo into a balloon over here if you show me that technique that you used earlier. And he does it, right? And it's cool, the panel looks great, but the problem is Moro already controls the battlefield right now. And even though he's surprised to see Goku using something like that, he already acknowledged the fact that it's not a mortal ability. The point is that he ends that chapter, the face-off between Goku and Moro, he ends that chapter in total control. And in that sense, I think it's kind of setting the stage to show us that even though Goku has attained a new height, a new level of power, a new state of being, I think the goal and the point is that it's kind of like Goku mentions, where Moro's probably hiding his true power, and Moro will, for the most part, likely be able to deal with UI sign Goku. And, at that point, it kind of sets the stage, not only just for Vegeta, but just to showcase that, yeah, even though Goku's excelling and progressing, which is the whole point of his current story, right? It's just not enough for this kind of fighter. And we've done a couple of videos talking about that, how, it just seems like Ultra Instinct probably, as weird as it is to say, it probably isn't what's needed to beat a guy like Moro. Because, again, Goku comes in, he's in UI Omen, he's smacking Saganbo around, But Saganbo is just more concerned with who hit him. You know, as far as like the damage that he sustained, he was still like getting back up. He was still, you know, charging and going forward. I mean, the argument here isn't that he didn't sustain damage, but the point was that Goku wasn't UI Omen. He starts off his introduction into that specific scenario in UI Omen, UI Sign, and then he just goes back into base and blue and stuff for whatever reason to finish Saganbo off, and then all of a sudden he's having this unnecessarily dialogue interaction with Moro to say, oh, stop it, his body's is at its limit, blah 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 blah, I thought he was your friend. You know, it's that part was completely unnecessary. But like I said, I think, you know, Moro immediately controlling the battlefield right now and controlling Goku's actions, because we know Goku to be a slow starter. He likes to get warmed up. He likes to see engage his opponents, right? But I think even though Goku kind of knows that Moro isn't at full power and is likely hiding something else, the point is that Moro is in total control right now only because he made Goku go into his final stage, into his most powerful form and state of being, literally before the fight even began. And I think that kind of sets the precedent to say, well, yeah, Goku alone just might be will likely not be enough. Ultra Instinct Sign just isn't enough. And maybe Ultra Instinct Sign Goku isn't enough, right? I'm not saying that it would be better for Vegeta, but I'm just saying that I think Goku kind of went into this thing with the wrong mindset. Because obviously, you know, having access to that power grants him a lot of abilities. But again, Moro right now doesn't really seem too concerned. I imagine that they will allow Goku to flex a little bit. You're not going to give us UI Sign and then just not let him flex a little bit. But I think ultimately Moro will likely catch on. And then it's, as you've mentioned a few times over some of the discussions that we had, where Goku just may not be able to maintain the form. Moro could still passively steal his chi. It's like, how do you maintain that, right? Goku, there's no evidence to suggest that Goku has a counter to that specific ability that Moro possesses. So if he doesn't, I just don't see this being that, you know, that easy for Goku.
I actually disagree with what you said about Goku going into this fight with the wrong mindset, because Goku had already fought Moro several times on New Planet Namek, even above on New Planet Namek's atmosphere, and even then at Super Saiyan Blue, he knew that he couldn't stand the chance. Even if he were to use the manga's version of Mastered Super Saiyan Blue or somehow adapt Kaioken, it's still not going to be enough, right? So why in the world would you want to fight someone again using the same transformation, knowing the fact that this dude could easily blitz you and drain your Genki again and get even more powerful than how he was before, rather than having to throw down seriously and using your trump card to put him down for good? So this is where I think Goku comes in with a smarter approach, and being the fact that he knows what he needs to do. He knows that he needs to defeat Moro, and that's why he's using Ultra Instinct right off the gate. Now I understand it would have been a bit more productive to see Goku jump from Super Saiyan 3 to Super Saiyan God to Super Saiyan Blue to Mastered Super Saiyan Blue, and then perhaps maybe Ultra Instinct Sign and stuff like that. So, but even then it wouldn't make any sense because we know the overall end result of what's going to happen. But I do agree in the idea that Moro does seem to be in control, because he's the one that's bossing Goku around. He's the one telling Goku, hey, if you don't show me that technique, then I'm just going to start picking people off and you have no other choice but to listen to me because I'm the one in control here. So that's a very brilliant tactic, I think, from Moro, but I think that by the end of it, something's really got to give. But what I wanted to ask you is, let's say if Mastered Ultra Instinct were to be a thing, do you see it to where Goku would completely obliterate Moro by using that kind of power? Or are they going to script it in a way to where Goku's simply going to momentarily tap into that power and then burn out, just as we've seen be done in the manga and in the anime?
Alright, so I think it really comes down to how do you script that, right? So Moro sees what Goku's doing. It's not a moral ability. Okay. And he acknowledges that he's gotten a lot stronger. Okay. So Moro's been pretty damn smart over the course of, like, since this arc began. I think a lot of us, we kind of underestimated him, and it's funny because ever since we've seen him, ever since he's, you know, ever since he debuted, we've all kept asking ourselves, what can Moro do? How? And then eventually that transitioned into, why can't they beat Moro if Blue's enough, but he has all these techniques? So Dragon Ball's kind of taking a different turn now. It's not just about power anymore. And then that changed into, how are they going to beat Moro? And then that changed into, Ultra Instinct. You know, Vegeta learning techniques to counter the chi absorption and stuff like that. So how do you script that? How do you have someone as smart as Moro How do you script it to a point where even though Moro sees how strong Goku's become, he knows Vegeta isn't there yet, right? So he's counting on Vegeta to show up, likely. It's most likely, right? That stage is set for the most part. And if I were him, I mean, I would just start passively collecting chi just as a reserve. I mean, he's done it before. He did it in the first fight against Goku and Vegeta, right? He's gone through means to kind of absorb, to absorb chi, and then eventually absorb their own chi, and then, left them for dead until they were saved. So at that point, it's like, how do you script that kind of scenario to have it to where it's not like Goku is at his limit? It's not the same thing. He literally has no life force to maintain him breaking his current limitation to maintain even MUI for a split second. It's not that he's out of power. He's literally out of life force energy, Genki. Like, he has none of that. So how is he going to maintain that form? How can you script that and then make it make sense? I mean, sure, I get it. It's an anime. It's a manga. Not everything has to make sense, but you typically want to understand whatever it is you're reading as a fan. So with that in mind, how do you really do that? Now, if to answer the question, as far as like theoretically, could MUI Goku take him down? We don't know, but I would say, yeah, it's definitely plausible. Maybe have him Goku's backed into a corner and he goes into MUI for a split second and then he just burns out immediately. Like, he doesn't even touch more, but we see him do it again. So it's just like, oh, okay, now the next stage for Goku, that's kind of like set in stone. Goku's next goal is to get that. It's kind of like a teaser, kind of like how they did in the Broly movie where he went blue, but they like showed the white hair kind of, and then people were like, oh my god, was that Ultra Instinct? But it really wasn't. It was just like mid-transformation. The same thing they did with Super Saiyan when he went he had like green hair and then he would just turn Super Saiyan and stuff like that. So could MUI Goku take him on? Yeah, most likely, right? That's an insane power leap, right? But how do you script it? I think that's what it really comes down to. How do you script it to the point where it maintains the consistency that I would say most of this arc has had so far? I think the arc has been somewhat consistent. I just don't agree with the recent chapter, kind of like drawing out the dialogue and interaction between Goku and Moro for no reason. So yeah, I would say Goku for sure can take him in MUI, but I just don't think we're gonna see it. And if we do, it's probably just like a glimpse, and then that's really it. I don't really think it's gonna do anything, because I think right now, it's like I said, they're really trying to showcase maybe Goku will flex a little bit, but the goal right now is that Moro is in charge. The minute he made Goku do something he didn't want to do initially, at least that's what it felt like, because he was in blue, and then he's just forcing Goku to kind of do what he wants. And then Goku tries to attack Moro, and Moro's just like, nah, what was that? Like, get out of my face, So, and that's MSSB. So it's just like, yeah, even though he's gotten that much stronger, dude, considering that Goku tried to stop Moro from giving energy to Saganbo, so he's giving his own energy to Saganbo. And then a stronger MSSB Goku is trying to stop Moro from doing that, and Moro is still casually keeping up with Goku and blocking him. Yeah, dude, like, Moro's in complete control right now. So I think the stage is being set to show us that even though Goku has accomplished something as cool as being able to use UI sign at will, it's just not enough for him. So, and then, enter Vegeta, and then we'll see what happens from there. And then, yeah, I mean, we've talked about these things on my channel a couple times, so, you guys could probably check those videos out as well. Back when, we did it was a few weeks ago, we talked about Ultra Instinct. We know it's going to happen. We know it's coming, and surely enough, here it is. So let's see what happens.
It's actually quite interesting, because if they make out Goku to beat Moro so quickly before Vegeta gets there, people are going to be really, really angry. If Ultra Instinct ends up losing, then people are still going to be very angry. If Vegeta ends up showing up and somehow defeats Moro, then people will be happy. So it's kind of weird, but at the same time, I'm actually glad that they're developing Vegeta and Goku, being the fact that Goku is training with MERUS throughout the whole time of being inside the hyperbolic time chamber, and Vegeta's taking his time to learn different abilities and different techniques with Pybrara. So it's honestly very cool, but I truly don't think that Moro is going to go down so easy. So I think that whatever's going to come from this is going to come from a collective effort of both Goku and Vegeta, unless they script it to where UI Goku just decimates Moro to the point of him being weak enough for Vegeta to capitalize on and gain the victory over. So in the end, we want to get your thoughts in the comment section below about this, guys. I am going to be hosting a special community response post on my community tab, so be sure to go on ahead and keep your eyes out for that on my community tab when it's posted. that basically relates to this topic and the topic of Vegeta as well. So again, Emosh, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys stay safe out there. Again, if you guys are new to the channel, smash that subscribe button, guys. Turn on all notifications. That way you guys never miss a single video. Hit that like button down below by giving this video a big thumbs up. I do appreciate you guys so much. Again, you guys can join the Discord, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. All those links will be located down below, as well as Emosh's channel. Thank you all so much for your time, and we'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace. And a quick little reminder before you guys go, if you guys are unaware, I do have a second gaming channel located down in the description box below, so be sure to head on over to Unreal Royale and hit that subscribe button along with turning on all notifications, as to there, you guys will find all different kinds of gaming content that you will not get to find on UnrealEntGaming, titles and video games such as Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, Gears of War, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, Dragon Ball Z Legends, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, Minecraft, Blair Witch, and many other retro games on that channel. So if you guys are into gaming, then make sure you guys subscribe over on Unreal Royale. I want to thank you all so much for your time, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead! Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck's up, on? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Freezer.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!
But once you get video, lots of likes, or Bill will turn you into chocolate!
Vados, get over here! Tell these mortals that I'm the biggest UnrealEntGaming fan. This is my moment. I'm a part of his notification squad. Universe 7 can have all the fun. I just want the food.
And don't forget to leave a comment on this video. Show some love for the best community on YouTube.
Kakarot!